show starts now. Welcome to the Ryback Show live. I'm the big guy Ryback, and I feel like this is super close to my face again. They adjusted the cameras on this thing on StreamYard. There's no doubt, because I am in your face now. Now I'm going to have to really lean in for the questions. This is going to be, I'm just not going to pay attention. Happy Thursday to everybody. The Ryback Show presented by Feed Me More Nutrition. We are streaming live on the big guy Ryback20 on Instagram and TikTok. Ryback TV on YouTube, where super chats are brought up on the screen. I will answer your questions and do the best that I can. Health, fitness, supplementation, mindset, life, pro wrestling, anything on your mind. That's the ebb and flow of the show, that whatever direction it shall go. That little Big Daddy Ryback there. And Twitch, Ryback Rules, and Twitter at Ryback. A lot of things going on with Twitter right now. We'll talk about very interesting things going on in the world with that. But as always, this podcast is brought to you by Feed Me More Nutrition, my premium supplement line sweetened with stevia and monk fruit. No artificial sweeteners or colors. Vegan friendly for men and women on feedmemore.com. You can save 20%. Spit it out, Junior. You can spend. You could save. Where am I going? You could spend 20%. You could save 20% just by using discount code RYBACKSHOW20, RYBACKSHOW20 on feedmemore.com. Just hopped. I did a quick shower. Had to run to the store real quick. Big, huge leg workout. Heavy leg day today. So I'm some cardio right after. There's a lot of shoulder work. A lot of Feed Me More Nutrition work in the morning. And on here, I got stuff going on. I got to have an air company come back out tomorrow. I'll tell you about that here. But and then tomorrow's my red wine night, so I'm looking forward to that. So they'll probably, based off of I have air conditioning people coming out from 4 to 6. So there'll probably be no recording tomorrow with that, because it typically, even though this shouldn't take too long, but I'll just start off the show with the story. My AC upstairs, it had went out, but the panel was working, but the light to the panel was not working, which was telling me there was some sort of electrical issue, because the air conditioner was not kicking on, because there's the unit for downstairs and then the unit for upstairs. And the upstairs unit was not working. It wasn't horrible, because I was able to sleep. I just opened the window for a few nights because it's been cooler out at night, so there were no issues. We're going to go ahead and throw a shell shock right off the bat here. Bam, shell shocked out of Rybackville. My buddy owns an air conditioning company out here, so they came out, and it was an electrical issue. There was actually burnt wires up in the attic, and they thought they couldn't fix the issue, though. The breaker, and I checked the breaker box. I've had to do that before. Something will trip the breaker, and that's 90% of the time. That's always what it is. But that, for whatever reason, was not working with that. And then we have the forced air unit too, and I checked those. Those were fine, and I reset those. And so, anyways, they couldn't fix it, but I signed up for their maintenance program, and so they clean the units, and that's $300, but they're out here twice a year, and it's worth it, because you'll makes your air conditioner run more efficiently, and it also is more of a preventative deal, and it helps them last longer, because those things, especially when we have multiple units out there, can get expensive for a bigger house. So they had to call an electrician to come out, and then they thought it was a wire between the breaker and the motor, which we're talking pain in the ass, and which that's super uncommon though. And they go, something's not right. And finally, the electrician figured out that the solar company, when they came out years ago, mislabeled the forced air unit breaker with one of the other breakers out there, and it was the breaker tripped. So but the breaker had broken as well, so they had to fix the breaker, and then now the AC company is coming back just to do a preventative check to make sure that there's like nothing with the motor in the attic or whatever. So like nearly $600 later, which it should have been fixed by just one company or the other, but the AC company missed it because the guy that was out didn't catch the breaker which I can't be upset at because I didn't catch it either. And but I was like, damn, man, that cost me another $300. And the 2% Jew in me really that hurt, you know. So but here we are. So they're coming out tomorrow. So I don't know. It's between 4 and 6, and the way that it works is I'd start to record and then they'd call, and then I'll have to stop the show early or something. So there'll probably be no show tomorrow with everything. What's going on? What's going on? Good to see all of you guys. Let's see, get some of your questions. I saw in the news today, Elon Musk is attempting to buy Twitter, which I am all for because, as you know, my account has been suppressed since I've left WWE. It was actually suppressed while I was there. When I started speaking out in 2014 is when they really had killed my impressions with everything, but it got even worse when I left. And like right away when I didn't sign over. So for me, it gives me hope that even with all my legal stuff going on, that maybe if I can get my Twitter back, and for me, you have to understand having a business is we get a high conversion rate from Twitter people that go to the feedmemore.com website. So when you see me speaking out on this stuff, it's because this is my livelihood in my business. And if you have your livelihood in your business, you want as many people to be exposed to as possible. You do not want to be hidden, because when you're being hidden, there's nothing you could do. And when they're denying you to promote your stuff, which I don't know when they even implemented that. I was always allowed to promote my tweets. And then sometime last year, I went to promote one of the Feed Me More Nutrition ones. And I'm not allowed to promote, and no warning, nothing, no reason. Sent in a thing, no response on their help as always. And I'm just like, this is just, it's not right. And so I'm hoping Elon exposes them this rigged game, because there's a lot of other people that are being screwed with. It's not just me. I was just vocal about it. And I'm not to say I was the first one vocal. I'm sure it's happened to people, and I wasn't aware though. But you know, they're doing this with different partnerships, and it's a very corrupt platform and organization. And I want to see everybody that works there go down hard personally. And same thing with IG, with Zuck and that whole deal. You know, go look at it. It's just truly frustrating. So polling for Elon to that. I don't think it could be any worse. And I just think that you shouldn't suppress people and allow people to be seen unless it's truly warranted, where I don't, you know, with you're putting out death threats, or, you know, or different things. But so we'll see. What do we got going on today? Hello. Super chats are rolling in. Let's get to the super chat. Super chats. I'm sorry. Make sure I didn't miss any up top. Wonder Kid Studios, thank you very much. What's the recommended ages for Feed Me More Nutrition? So that's all dependent. The only thing that really, like the plant protein powder can be used by anybody to increase your protein intake, and that's going to be dependent on your age as far as how much that is and whatnot, which I would always consult with your physician. But things like obviously the testosterone booster, which is all natural, but like something like that, I would say 18 and over. But even then, I'm going to say kids that don't need that, you know, unless you have symptoms of low testosterone with that, which men in their 20s, 30s, 40s and up, right? That's what that product was designed for, with that. And to just maximize their natural testosterone. Creatine is something, though, many kids, I started it in high school. Protein, BCAAs, the finish at BCAAs, those are all pretty age friendly as far as that. But things like, you know, the Shell Shock Extreme fat burner, the weight management formula, again, 18 and over, I would say. I think the big thing when people are young is I mean, it's with all people, it's nutrition and getting that spot on. And you know, you don't want to start a 12-year-old on fat burners and they don't know anything about dieting. It's like, not that that's bad for them, but at the same, like, it's just it's they don't need it. They need to be more active, and you need to, you know what I mean? And I just look at things with a common sense approach on it. And but things like the protein powder and the that it's pretty age friendly, where that is very healthy for people to increase their protein intake, and that's going to again uh, a 10-year-old's not going to take the same size shake that I'm taking, the big guy's taking, with my massive 80 to 100 gram meals that I do 4 times a day. But that works for me. And I've done that over a period of time, and I have it down really, really well. But that saves me time eating. I just believe in giving little breaks in between eating too, with everything, and not eating 10 meals anymore a day like I used to. It was just too much. So, with that, good question though. Dr. Chunky Biscuit 2.0. Hi, it's 110 years today since the Titanic sank. Thank you for that information. That man, I love that movie, The Titanic, with Leonardo DiCaprio, Kate Winslet. I still to this day remember seeing it in theaters with my mom and the neighborhood kids and their mom and our friends. And then afterwards, we went and played Final Fantasy, whatever one was out at the time, probably on Super Nintendo. That's how well I remember that night of going to see that movie, though. That when we got back, we played Final Fantasy. Great game. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of the cruise ships. You will not see me. My family actually in high school booked a week long thing during school during football season, and Mr. Athlete, was not missing. And I was started at both ways, kicker, punter. I did everything, and so I would like to think I was valuable to the team, which we had a great record. So statistics would say I was, but so I didn't go on the cruise. But I also don't like going into the ocean outside of maybe just going and standing in the water. And I've gone into the ocean swimming. I'll never will again though, unless it's with a really beautiful hot woman and she like a lot is on the line. Then I'll probably get in there and chance it. But the sharks and it's not our land, it's not our home. I just don't believe in going in there. Those waters are vicious. Have you seen what goes on down there in those oceans, down in the deep, deep, deep depths of the ocean? Man, imagine being on that Titanic when that was going down. I would have been loaded, loaded. You thought the heel, the guy that I have a child, I would have had 3 children of people in my arms with a Frenchie and just completely loaded on Jack Daniels or whatever alcohol they had, and just to get on one of those boats. I would be trying to get order. I'd be punching and probably trying to get order on the Titanic, though. Seriously, calm down. Hopefully it's a quick process. But nighttime too, freezing cold water. And then the ship, the scary part is obviously like if that happens and God knows in those freezing cold waters though, and just that just I do the ice bath, so I know how intense that is. And those water temperatures were far below that, and every degree matters on it. So those people, shock just setting in, frostbite, but the ship going down and pulling you under, or if you fell off it at the high point and hit that freezing cold water, like, oh, that movie, I could watch. I've watched that movie a lot, but I don't. The people that go on the families that go on those cruise ships, that's why those like Jericho does those cruise things. Like I don't care how much money I don't think I would ever be like, yeah, I want to go do that. It just wanted I'm so happy with life just the way that it is. A shark is going to eat me right away. They're like, look at that big, beefy, big guy. We're just going to destroy him. I'll be like, please, hopefully you bite my head off first so that I don't feel anything else. But 110 years since the Titanic sank. Thank you for sharing that information. Dennis says, Ryback, I have low T and I'm currently on 100 milligrams of test a week. Is that enough to help build some muscle? Well, Dennis, that's going to depend on your lab work and the doctor. So that amount could be all right. Oftentimes that amount, what happens is it's by then you're doing it every week. every 7 days. Sometimes it's 7 to 10 days, depending on the doctor and your levels. And what you need to do though is get tested. Uh, you need to get tested like 2 or 3 days after you do your first shot, and then you need to also be tested like day like 6 or 7, so you know how low it is on the final day, because you always want to stay in a consistent range. And what they found is it's actually better and more consistent to do like a shot like every 3 days or something like that. You're for your whole every third or fourth day. So it's twice every 7 days, and that would keep you more stable. And there's a lot of research. I just talked to my stem cell doctor about all that, but I'm just of the believer just once a week, and just to keep it simple. And but some people do need more, upwards of 150 to 200 being at the higher end, and all that's going to be dependent on your lab work with that. And but 100 is enough to hopefully keep you in the hopefully mid to maybe even low mid normal. It depends on how you process it and synthesize it. Um, it's hard to say without lab work on that. But if you don't feel great on it, you could always talk to your doctor and ask them to bump it up to 150, which is not doing any harm, and it could just make you feel a lot better. And but again, lab work is the key with all of that, and that's what your doctor would go by, the lab work. And you have some doctors that like have their eyes on certain numbers, and you have doctors that want you to be in a more optimal range. And it's just dependent on that doctor and how up to date they are on the literature, and how well you can communicate with them on everything. Is it true you actually have 7,000 people blocked on Twitter? If yes, then they deserve to be blocked. I don't know the exact number. I think it might be a little more than that. Um, which, and then there's accounts that are muted. I would say in total, if I'm not mistaken, from what I saw last, it's like 12,000 between blocked and muted. Um, and muted is typically just people I just don't. It's if they're not saying anything bad, but they're just more maybe just for whatever reason annoying or like constantly tweeting. I'll mute them just so I don't have to see it with that. But people, if they cross that line and are disrespectful or just say something that I just think is they should have kept to themselves, I just block. And it's no hate. It's not no any hate. It's just I'm not, you know, if this is real life and you want to do that and have a conversation, I think I more than welcome conversations with things. But when you're just disrespectful, especially 99.9% of the time on lies, I'm just not even entertaining you. Like there's billions of people on the planet. I don't care. I just will focus on the ones that are good, right? And that's what I try to do the most of, even though it's fun to sometimes, zing them and here and there. But for the most part, I don't even like giving them the time of day. Life of Daz, good to see you, buddy. Thank you for the super chat. Starbucks money. I hear you on cruise ships. I went on one once. Never twice. The water was rough. Went on one once, never twice. The water was rough. Hope all is good, mate. Thank you very much, Daz. And yeah, I'm the same. Even though I've seen some pretty spectacular cruise ships that, if you're going for a week and it's, uh, you know, I don't know though. Like it to me, it's like I live in Vegas. If I want to go have a good time, you can take an Uber down anywhere onto the strip and have the time of your life on the ground. And there's risk with anything in life, but like I don't like flying either, even though I've done that so much and whatnot. But it's like for whatever reason, and that was my one thing with flying. I had to go a lot of trips wrestling where you're flying over the ocean, like to India and to Australia, where you're over water for a huge chunk of the flight. That if for whatever reason anything were to go wrong, you are like it's going in water. And that to me was always with the planes. It's like, man, can you imagine a plane goes down and you survive, but it crashes into the ocean and you survive that just horrific event, and there's everything going on, the chaos and the madness, and then like you realize that you survived and like you for whatever reason are not injured. and you're just in the water and you find a nice piece of the plane to hold on to, and you're like, oh, thank God, this is, and then the sharks come. And then you got that whole new second fear. You just had the fear you just experienced and overcome with joy. And then the sharks start circling because of everything going on in the water. Man, can you just imagine? Can you just imagine? And that's Ryback psychology. That to me would be the worst way. Hopefully the sleep, peaceful, everything's good. And long, fulfilled, happy life. And your time is ready. Maybe even, whatever it is. And they have to come to the house and you're in a nice sedated state. And they're like, you ready? I go, I'm ready. Give me the good stuff, doc. And they hit you with that MJ morphine cocktail or whatever it was, the other name for it, not morphine. But yeah, that would be the ultimate way. Night, night forever, guys. Big guy out. Any chance of seeing me wrestle on TV? I think that is a very strong possibility, and I've been very transparent. We got the legal stuff going on with WWE, and once this concludes, at whatever point that is, which I'm hoping is very on the sooner rather than later, that next step will then be the focus. Jewish boy says, "What is the best pre-workout you recommend?" Our Wake Up Unlimited Energy comes in from Feed Me More Nutrition on feedmemore.com. It's on Amazon as well, but you can save 20% with Ryback Show 20 on here. The discounts in the description. We have pink lemonade, mango candy, and green apple, calorie-free, fasting, and keto safe with that as well. And with the stevia, no harmful artificial sweeteners or colors. And it packs a punch. It is, I look forward to that every single day to have that. I'm not have any interest in coming to the Legends of Wrestling event. Now, I'm not doing any appearances, buddy. Stuff comes in. I'm not even doing it. I've got my life and my business. And like I said, the legal stuff is the stuff I got to take care of. And once that's done, we will go from there with all of that, with everything. Right. And I think everything's going to be very, very good. It would be great to do, some things. But with Sophie, it's honestly more, and I did a few appearances last year, signings. It's just stressful being away from home with Sophie. And I really, value and cherish that. And once everything is all situated with the WWE stuff, I'll be able to really have closure on everything and really be able to put the pedal to the metal on moving forward at a much more rapid rate. With everything, because I'll know that the legal cost, all this is going to be over with, and with the settlement, there's a lot going on. Like I'm winning everything, right? And so that's why, just be patient, please, and believe all is going to be good. Thank you I missed a super chat from William. Let me scroll back up. Oftentimes, I don't know why they don't pop them all. That's funny. My friend Giant Haystacks was a relative of mine. He was a big fella. Do you think you could have taken him? That's funny. My dad used to always call my uncle Haystacks. And here's the super chat from William. But I've seen pictures and done. I know who he is. Yeah, and no doubt, the big guy could have shell shocked him. There's not a human alive the big guy can't shell shock. It's just some are easier than others. William, thank you, buddy. William Schaefer. Ryback, you rock. Which product should I get from your website if I'm trying to lose weight and build muscle? I would check out 100% would do the Wake Up Unlimited Energy with the Shell Shock Extreme Fat Burner. I think that is a very good stack. And dependent on your budget, um, the 10 count creatine and the ISO Hungry protein, I think, are the four top things. And then again, the Big Guy testosterone booster is fantastic, depending on how old you are. That would help you build muscle if you're working out and eating properly as well, or any combination of those. But I think, even the Shell Shock and the Big Guy would be a very good muscle building, fat burning stack with the proper diet and workout routine with that. So you could do any combination of those as well, but I would definitely include the Shell Shock in there as far as on the weight loss end of things, because there's no better product on that, and that's why it's our best seller. Uh, so another good question: why haven't you went to New Japan Pro Wrestling? WWE was never a good fit for you. So first of all, WWE was an amazing fit for me. I had an amazing career in WWE, and granted, things, and I've talked about it a million times. I'm not talking about it anymore. It's like, if you don't know what went on, man, which clearly I'm not. You don't know what. If you're asking why I haven't gone, like, you're clueless on everything, and I'm not. Just like, I'm done. And people that watch, I don't know how much more. I'm so sick and tired of explaining all of this to you guys, and I try my best. And there's days where I'm more open to explaining it. Today is not one of those days, man. So, like, if you don't know why I left and you don't know what's going on, it is what it is. But I don't think, you know, I can't discredit anything I've done, and I did phenomenal as a physical actor there, and that's all that it is. I just obviously didn't play the role that I think that that the majority wanted me to play for a longer period of time, but at least I played that role that 99.9% of wrestlers are never going to ever play, anyways. So it just didn't last as long as it probably should have with that. But at the same time, when you look at things as a physical actor, because that's all that it is, and I hate to burst a lot of your guys' bubble, it's all physical acting, all of it. It's just extremely physical, and I love it more than anything in the world. But it's physical acting, and it's like, I will speak up for the people of all roles all day long, and I always have. So that's why I always laugh when people say, like, things. I'm always speaking up for the business of the wrestlers, and it's physical acting, and you guys need to have respect for every single pro wrestler. If not, you're not really a fan, man. In my opinion, I grew up loving everything, and there's going to be guys you like more than others. But man, I never once ever thought of like I just, it's common sense. Like, it was always physical acting to me, and suspending your belief, and in just enjoying it. So, but I understand, what you mean by everything, but um talked about it a million times since I've left with everything going on. I'm just burnt out from talking about it. My TikTok, go to my TikTok, it's pinned. I get the question 1,000 times a day on TikTok. It's pinned to the top up there. Maybe I need to make a new one and put the title up there, why I left WWE. And even then, I'm still going to get it 1,000 times a day. But and I've talked about all that, and it's all worked out, and everything is, like I said, everything always works itself out, and I'm very happy with what's going to happen here. Christopher Yao, thank you for the super chat. Hey, big guy, long time. Hope all is well with you. Very good, my man. Following you all over social. Hashtag hungry FMMN. Thank you very much, Chris. And looking forward. We're gonna have an exciting big year here with everything going on, and just one day at a time. Keep just inching a little closer every single day, and it's I'm pretty excited with the way everything's going. And TikTok's been really fun. That's by far my best social media. Thank you to everybody on TikTok with that. And thank you to everyone on all platforms, but TikTok is by far number one. I hope you're doing well, Chris. I don't know what Justin Gabriel said about me. I wish him all the best, though. I haven't talked to him in some time. I just there's some stuff, man. He would always just say some weird stuff, and I haven't talked to him in a long time. But he was always very nice, and I wish nothing but the best for Justin. He's an amazing pro wrestler. Seeing hold on, where did I miss a super chat? There it is. Thank you for who told me this. Wonder Kid Studios. Hey Ryback, before I go, I'm playing my universe mode on 2K, and you won the Royal Rumble. Could you choose a title to go after? Feed me more. Thank you very much, buddy. I don't even know what are the titles in there. Pick whatever title that makes you happy, my man. It's your game. Christopher, oh, for Starbucks. Thank you very much, buddy. I greatly appreciate it. The Starbucks fund is growing. Ukraine, I hope you're doing well over there and staying safe. I have not been keeping up on of that. I try to limit just watching anything news and social media with Geo says basically he said he doesn't think you'll come back and you're just masking the issue with stem cells. I have no idea. I haven't talked to him and he hasn't talked to me in some time. So I don't he's not even aware of what's going on of this and like the legal stuff. So, you know, I stopped. It is what it is. He I have nothing but love for Justin with that, but and we're not going to get into anything because it doesn't you know, I know deep down he's a good person, but I could just say he's 100% clueless to everything going on with my situation with that. And like, I don't care if it takes 10 years, it's not going to. Like, I'm already have come so far. My back is 100%. And like the shoulder is a very complicated issue, but it's not just the shoulder. There's the legal stuff that needs to wrap up. Like this legal stuff needs to wrap up. And I can't discuss details of like some of this, but the last conversation I had with him was, and he's very negative without trying to be negative because sometimes I believe he lives a very fearful lifestyle, even though he does crazy things. Was he goes, don't lose all your money doing this. He goes, but essentially, we're all proud of you and everything you stood up for. But I just thought that was very negative. I'm like, brother, that's the last thing I'm even like, you don't know how much money I have to begin with on anything. Right. So I wish him nothing but the best. And like I said, he's clueless to anything going on with this. And I think it's funny because if he thinks I'm not coming back, he's more than entitled to think that. But screw him for even thinking that and even doubting that or whatever insecurities or jealousy or whatever he has deep inside of him. It is what it is. Typically get 7 to 8 hours. A lot of the nights it comes back to 7. But and two, back to the Gabriel thing, masking my injuries with stem cells. I don't even know what that means as far as I haven't had the procedure. The last one I had was in 2021 of February, the beginning of February 2021. Those were the final ones. And that was 19 procedures total with that. And I could tell you right now, if he would have had my back injury, he would have chosen to got the fusion and been in a wheelchair. He wouldn't have had the courage to face what I did. I could say that with a fact. So I don't think many people would have. So I'm very proud of everything. And again, I hope he lands somewhere and he's a great pro wrestler. I'm looking through the super chats now. Thank you guys. Yeah, I'm a big fan of black rice. Big fan of black rice. Good question here. Thank you for the super chat, Michael Moranti. And I'm not bashing Gabriel with anything. I take this very personal though, with everything I've had to deal with, and like, you know, and what I've achieved and accomplished with severe suppression and lies put out and different things. And in wrestling, and I found this, there's a lot of jealousy and insecurity in pro wrestling. And it's just the way that it is. But I so I look forward to what his statement is when I am back at whatever capacity that I do come back at, and then we can, and then he could say, "Oh, I was wrong," or whatever he says, because 100% he will be wrong. Michael says, "Have you ever tried the original Jacked 3D? Heard it was nuts." Also, so I'm going to answer that first. Yes, we used to take it down in Florida Championship Wrestling, and it used to, it was just, it was insane. And I always knew that it was something was off, because I would just get really just feel off on it, and that the ingredient, I forget what that ingredient was that got banned eventually. But that's the craziness of the supplement industry with some of these companies. They'll just throw whatever, man, and it's not good. But the it was insane. Just the how powerful that was in very little, but that was because the main energy thing was that crack like ingredient they had in it. Also, what do you recommend to give me a morning kick? Sick of Celsius and Monster, but don't want heart palpitations as I'm lifting. Hashtag F Twitter. Yeah, 100% on the Twitter. Check out our Wake Up Unlimited Energy. Even starting with half a scoop and then assessing if you can do the full scoop, I think you're going to really, really like it. And I used to do those Celsiuses too. They're pretty weak with all of that. The Wake Up Unlimited Energy is very strong. And like I said, if you could do half a serving, which a lot of people do, with that's 60 days worth on that. And yeah, I think you're gonna dig it. Every morning, it's the first thing I take when I wake up. Before I get up at usually between 4:30 and 5:30, and I come downstairs and make that. Take Sophie and little guy out to go to the bathroom, and before I make all their food and get ready, start making my food, and then sip on that when I get ready and start my morning work. So I look forward to it every day. And then I do a coffee in the afternoon and a decaf at night. But decaf isn't, the decaf never tastes. I'm not a. I don't have it every night, but it's I can't be doing. I used to do a coffee at night. It was just a little too much caffeine. Super chat here. Thank you, Life of Daz. One more Starbucks on me. Greatly appreciated, buddy. Thank you, thank you. Ryback, please eat chips. There's multiple videos of me eating chips. The fascination with the chips is something that I is so crazy to me. I'm not upset over it though. Matt Havoc, thank you for the super chat. Hey, big guy, I'm a big fan of yours. Thank you very much. I believe I asked this a few months ago, but I genuinely forgot what video. I just wanted to know what business, books, programs you'd recommend for an aspiring entrepreneur. Um, I'm trying to remember if I'm trying to think. I remember. I feel like, but I would say so. Again, it's going to be a combination of books. I think I'm a big fan of anything with the positive mindset, and for me, the books by Rhonda Byrne with The Secret, The Power, all those on just positive thinking, I think are very. They go hand in hand with business books. But there's the books by Gary Vaynerchuk, absolutely amazing. Grant Cardone, I think his Be Obsessed or Be Average, the 10X rule, are two books. And I love Be Obsessed or Be Average. I listen to that. I feel like every few months I just re-listen to it on the 1.8x speed on it. Like it's very motivating. And Grant was that who really helped me with his audiobooks on learning how to sell and becoming more passionate about it, and implementing different things, and opening me up to different books on different strategies and learning marketing as well. I think Damon John has a really good. He has some good books, but he also has a course, Damon on Demand. He sent it to me for free. We follow each other on IG, and that helped me out. He just sent it to me and said, "Hey, just if you get anything from it, great." And he goes, "I think it might be able to help on a few things," and it really did. And there was a lot in there that was implementing, but there were a few different strategies on being an entrepreneur and having a business that I wasn't. So that's a course that I would definitely recommend. It's very worthwhile. Like I said, I was already in business and going, and it really allowed me to start scaling and growing a lot more rapidly with different things and some different stuff they had in there. Um, and then there was another book by there's a John Spolstra. He was worked in marketing and sales, I believe, for the New Jersey Nets and a couple other teams. He has some really good books on selling on Amazon, to like on marketing and strategies. But so those are some off the top of my head that would be very, very beneficial for you. And it's just you go from one, and then what you do is in two. Like I'm a big believer in, right. We can only read so much and listen to so much. Like a lot of it comes to listening and implementing, reading and implementing, and adjusting, re-listening and implementing. We could listen all day long, but if we fill our time with just reading and listening and aren't implementing, we're not going to get anywhere. Same time, we do need to listen to enough to know when to start, right? But once you're in it and going, you got it. If you're doing both, you got to start implementing and like, or mapping things out. And, that to me, it's like the people, I talk about this all the time. You can read all the books in the world on how to be successful. If you don't, or how to be successful and happy, but if you don't like actually just start living life to try to be successful and happy, you're just kind of like a success zombie, like where you're just reading, you're like, oh yeah, this is the key to happiness. And then you share the meme, like happiness thing on social all the time, but like you're not actually doing the things in real life. And that's where you got to figure that out. You got to have that click. A lot of people, it never does, where you're just like, you could read about a positive mindset all day long, but if you're not implementing strategies and doing different things of practice of that positive mindset, what's it for? Is it making you just feel good in the moment that you're just reading this and you're like, oh, I'm trying, but are you really trying, or are you delaying, procrastinating? Michael Moranti, Starbucks on me. Great content. F Twitter again. Thank you, Mike. Trust me, we are pulling for Elon Musk to get Twitter, and I think they're going to have to. He's exposing them really badly with everything going on, and if they try to say no, it's because it is in the best interest of that company and the shareholders, and he's paying way over what they're valued. So he is a very, very smart man, and he is ahead of the curve. And I do think the evil has run its course, and hopefully, like I said, on IG, and I think obviously on YouTube, there's things going on, and we all see it. We all see it, and like it happening to different people, and it's like, come on. Super chat, orbitary. With Pat recently signing with AEW, should there be a concern about certain influencers in AEW politicking in relation to potentially hiring you? Literally not even thinking about that, man. Not even thinking about that. Like I said, everything is focused on the legal stuff, and that is of no concern. I am very you got to understand that for whatever people you think that are going to do that, there is way more that know me, and I already follow me, and that I have contact with that, a lot of that kind of stuff and you go meet with one person, and then they could feel your energy and vibe, and then realize to go, wait a second, this isn't, you know what I mean? And I've had plenty of people speak up for me publicly and say, so I'm not concerned with any of that. And it's not, again, and if it is ever anything at some point, I will deal with that when that point in time comes. But I am in a position to where, like, I don't even care. I know who and what I am. I'm like, and if somebody wants to believe lies, and like but that's wrestling. You'd have to ask yourself, why are these people this afraid of this person coming in? Right? And it's just it's a major red flag on their side that like so I'm not worried. I'm not worried. More than confident and know who and what I am. And I see everything that's going on out there, and I'm even more confident than ever. Ryback hates people. I love people. I just am I do not like bad people. Matt Martin, thank you. Anyone who uses pre-workout, try Wake Up. Unlimited energy. I promise you'll have a better workout on half a scoop of Wake Up than a full scoop of any C4 or any similar pre. Great doses and transparency. Thank you very much, Matt. And yeah, we've worked really hard to deliver really, like, I believe, top premium formulas for everybody. Super chat. Look who it is, the small guy. Hey, Big Show. Thank you very much. I don't know. Is that the real Big Show, or is that somebody playing the Big Show? That sounds like something the Big Show would say to me, though. Hello, hello. Uh, Looking at the questions here to see what we got going on. Ryback, I'm calling you out. I will wrestle you. Thank you very much. I appreciate you calling me out. I'm just going to keep on doing my thing. Just keep on living life, running my business. Yes, I do think Elon will buy Twitter if that goes. I think he's going to put them in a position. But they are. See, I believe they are. What he is exposing, and he's probably fully aware of this, is they are tied to a lot of illegal stuff going on in the world, and in censoring people and things they've done. And so there's going to be people that are going to be from elites all over that are connected to Twitter, where they're going to try to convince that board to say you can't sell. What Elon is doing is putting them in a position where if they don't, they are screwed, and they're going to be out one way or the other. So I think what is taking place is a beautiful, beautiful thing, and karma at its finest. I can't wait to see how this plays out, and I will be thrilled when my Twitter account is back to full engagement. That will be a beautiful, beautiful thing for me personally. I do not. That is my least favorite platform, with how horrible that, and Instagram and the MZ over there with Meta. Like, I do not like them at all. Hello, hello. No, the weightlifting plates with me and Mark Henry were it was to throw a shell shock here. It was, the weights were not really 225. We've talked about this multiple times. They were, I don't know if they were, it was 100 and something pounds. The plates weighed, they were still weighed, they just weren't as heavy as what they were looked like. You know, the 45s might have been like 25 or something, but like they were real, like, because they had to be heavy enough and make noise. And I remember, I think they said it was like 100 and something, and we both were in the back earlier and like went through it to make sure that we could get close to that. And like we're like, yeah, we'll be fine. And like, and then obviously work it when you get up to that number on that. And but yeah, I laughed because I believe somebody posted that I was like the bench press record of the 225, which I did that a ton, especially when I was in my 20s. Um, I did a very high amount of that. but that was not the record on when we were wherever show we did that on. Super chat, Ryback. Hello, guy that looks like me. Thank you, Ryback, for the Starbucks coffee money. Greatly appreciated. Some of you guys thoroughly pop me with some of the stuff you pull in here. Life of Daz, enjoy the Yankees game, my man. Have a cold one for me if you're having a drink. I respect all the people that wrestle and do it. I don't think there's ever. Oftentimes people always ask like, who's the best or the most, and you guys have heard me. It's oftentimes just thrown around when someone goes, "Oh, he's the nicest." You ever hear people say that like 50 times a year about people, and like, I'm just like, well, who's the nicest? You say that like, so you got to be careful how you phrase things. There's a ton of nice people, you know. Thank you. Saying, I don't know why YouTube isn't pulling the super chats the top that I miss. Let me see where I missed the super chat here. I don't see a missed one unless it was at the bottom. Oh, wait, here it is. Thank you. Ben Oldland says, "Hey, pal, I remember you at Glasgow. Hydro, you legend. Was that the gym? I remember that gym. If that's I know that exactly that place because the shuttle ride was always a long shuttle ride compared to other gyms that would be closer in different towns when we were over in the UK. And then they had the little cafe off. Like you come in the doors, and the cafe was if you come in and go to the right. I remember it was 2 floors, and they had like the cardio and some stretching stuff upstairs. Um, but I liked that gym. That was always I would always go to that gym whenever we were in town, and I'd wrestled there quite a bit because usually it'd be twice a year for what 5 years, 4.5 years. I hope you're doing well. I hope the gym is still up there. The book is still, yep, the book Wake Up It's Feeding Time is still available on Amazon. Do I recommend the testosterone booster for 19, 20-year-olds? Again, a lot of that's going to come down. I say anybody over 18, but with that, you want to not. I don't believe unless they suffer from low testosterone and you have lab work to prove that, that it would even be necessary. I would avoid it and wait until you're in your mid 20s or when you feel that it will be more beneficial. I do not think people at that age where your testosterone is sky high naturally, or should be at least, is anything to play with personally. I would look into the protein, the iso hungry protein, the 10 count creatine, the finish at BCAAs, but not the testosterone booster yet. Ryback, did you have any say in losing your Hell in a Cell match against CM Punk? I feel you should have had a streak to portray your persona. No, and I went and talked to Vince, but not about once they gave us the finish, and Vince wanted to meet with me just to kind of go over. There was a rule with me at the time that no match was to go over 10 minutes to keep it believable with how we'd been destroying people in short periods of time. So me and Punk had been having like 10-minute live event matches with like me winning every night, but him getting DQ'd with it, and then like shell shocking them and sending the crowd home happy. And then we got to the pay-per-view, and I want to say it was Arn that was our producer, one of them, and that maybe told us, and which Punk would have been aware of. Punk, the game plan was, so you got to understand, this is just bad booking from the beginning with that, but that was all tied into my legal stuff, which we're not going to get into. I've talked about this too much with that. it was always the plan was always Punk and Rock. So it was then Cena was supposed to wrestle Punk. Cena went out with an injury, and then they plugged me, and I think believe Cena had influence on that, which should not have. No one, because that his interest, that would be right if you don't see what's going on with that. But even so, like, it just, you don't, there was no need for it. I should have just continued the rise, and it was just going to keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And it is what it is. It was just physical acting, and you go there, and there's no difference of me being a former WWE champion or not with that, other than just showing up to the building and being told one thing over the other. And that's all it comes down to. And that's all that it is. And there was a lot of legal stuff going on with that. And I went from having no money at that time, and then starting to pay me some money, and then threatening. I've talked about all the legal stuff that happened with the malpractice lawsuit I had to drop. And this is being taken care of now, finally, years later, with everything. So the win was delayed, but it is coming. So, and as a physical actor, you go out and you play your role to the best of your ability, on that, right? The key is pro wrestlers is getting the best deal possible, and then doesn't matter what role you play. Even though you should know as a physical actor, the ones that do, you want to know exactly the role you're playing with that, but not everyone's going to do that. It was, as long as your money is not influenced on certain things, and it depends what your personal life is, your brand, and what you're doing in your personal life and stuff, because it does influence it greatly on how you're used. Super chat says cucumber. Thank you. I scared the Undertaker. Congratulations. How dare you do that? Quite the feat there, my friend. Um, I miss you so much in the ring. In Germany, we hardly hear anything from you. Well, thank you. If you're in Germany, you're here right now with me. So, we're here. We've got some spam telling people for the 18-year-old. We're going to go ahead and shell shock them out of here. Good question here, LA Baby. I leave for Navy boot camp in 2 months. What workouts do you recommend? I need to lose weight and also build muscle. Thank you. You need to jump into a cardio conditioning and weight training program. Your best friend, you need to really, really endurance stuff. So what you need to do is your workouts need to be specific to, like, and what you can do is talk to people that have gone through this training. I'm not familiar with exactly everything they do, even though it's a lot of usually running and jogging and push-ups and sit-ups, right? Things. So that needs to be your training. You need to be training for what you're going to go do, so that you're prepared for your body not to fail when you get out there. And it's going to, even though it could still be difficult, it's going to be a lot less difficult if you really get yourself in shape, and don't cut corners on that. So my advice is to you is to ask around for the people who have gone through it, and literally write down what the exercises they're doing, and then create a split, or you get that information and come back on here. I will help you design a little bit of a workout split that you need to be doing. But that's the stuff you need to be doing. You don't need to be going in and doing, trying to do a max bench press right now, when you're not going to be doing a max bench press out there. Not to say you still can't do weight training like that, but you want to be doing the training that you're going to be doing in boot camp to be in the best cardio condition, while in weight training through endurance of training to failure and past failure in different situations, right? And that would be how I would approach it personally. What do I recommend for gaining weight? For weight gain, I eat. I have I've tried some supplements, not sure what to do. Man, I think I always tell people adding rice and beans, get black rice and some pinto and black beans or one or the other, and cook up big pots of rice and beans and have, add a couple bowls of rice and beans to your diet already, what you're eating every day, will work wonders in helping you gain weight and good quality weight too with that. Excuse me. But I'm a big believer in rice and beans, especially when bulking. And also, they've got a really good, it's called Naked Mass. It's not my brand, but it's a vegan weight gainer. And I had the chocolate one and it was not bad. Not bad at all. Having a weight gainer shake after like a big workout would be very, very beneficial to increasing your calories with the food of your day. But if you're a hard gainer, you need to be specifically putting in feeding times of higher calorie meals, and I'm going to tell you too, don't fight your genetics. If it's too much of a struggle, you're sick, I'm going to tell you, just be the best you could be at whatever the weight is that you're at, and don't stress over it, man, because and then it drops off really quick if you can't sustain it. And that's oftentimes what leads people that don't have the genetics to put on size, that leads them to the on the drug side of things from performance enhancers. And we saw there was just another bodybuilder, Cedric McMillan, I think was his name, just passed away from a heart issue. Again, he was only 40, in his 40s. It's not a long life going down that road for those guys, and we've seen it time and time again. So that's not a route you want to take. All right, with that, guys, let's see. Do we have one question on TikTok? Feed me more. I appreciate all the love and support. TikTok, we're rocking and rolling. I just did a new podcast. Also, it's going to be coming out soon with Oodles Wallace. She's just awesome. I'm really looking forward to when she drops that. We just recorded that the other day. FA dieting. I'll do one more. Handing out receipts for hard hits. You ever hand out a receipt or get one handed to you? Not that I could even recall. I don't ever remember anything ever happening where I was, I was always taught hit hard in safe places and protect your opponent. And I could say 100% confidently, I always did that. And not to say that sometimes little things here and there, but it's a very physical contact sport. And like I always enjoyed the matches where I got hit harder personally. I grew up playing football and being physical, and there was never anything in there. I think there's nothing worse as a pro wrestler if you go and just into like, oh, he hit me. I'm just like, stop it. It just makes you look bad. So, but I sometimes think like wrestling fans, that's just one thing they're completely clueless on. Like you got guys out there that are legit killing each other every week, and they call those guys good, and then the guys that are actually really good, then they think they're the dangerous ones. I'm just like, okay, and it is what it is. But thank you. One more super chat. The HB Ryback, do you want to get back into wrestling? Yep. It's amazing how many times within the same show we have to just repeat, but yes, the goal is yes. And with that, guys, we're going to wrap up today's show. I've got to get some more work done here and make my last meal, take the dogs out and for their little nightly walk and do a few other things. So with that, thank you for listening. Please subscribe on Ryback TV. We're approaching 400,000 subscribers here on YouTube. And we have the weekly feeding time videos that come out where I do different vegan cheat meals once a week here in Las Vegas with everything. And my Feed Me More nutrition line, you could save 20% with discount code RYBACKSHOW20 on feedmemore.com. So take advantage of that in our text and email programs. We have our BMR calculator. If you on the front homepage on that, scroll down, click on it. It will literally plug in your information and give you how many calories you should be consuming per day based off your information and goals. that you plug into the system. That's absolutely free to use there on the feedmemore.com website as well. And we got the merch team I've signed the agreement with, and they're going to begin soon, hopefully working on everything. And we're going to have an entire merch section on feedmemore.com. I'm going to have a different fulfillment center for the merch. It's going to be a beautiful thing. And I'm really looking forward to all of this and bringing you guys just a lot more cool stuff on feedmemore.com. So have a good night, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate and love each and every one of you. And thank you for your time. Until next time, stay hungry. Feed me more.